Quick video today, you go see gameplay footage, let's get straight to the point. Editor me here, turns out it wasn't. So this started when this person said, why is every man's favorite Pokemon Gengar? Can someone explain this phenomenon to me, please? Which I could quickly debunk by just showing one video. It's my second video on this channel. Which I'm going to give you guys a pretty quick spoiler. Gengar was nowhere to be seen in that video. Which it doesn't mean I do not like Gengar. I just like a couple Pokemon more than Gengar. Gengar's still really cool though. I mean, he's the world champion. How couldn't you like Gengar? The more I think about it, is there anyone who actually dislikes Gengar? If you dislike Gengar, leave a comment below and why. Just saying. But that's not the point and not the main focus for this video. The main point of this video is that a certain someone co-retweeted that tweet, and judging by the title, you probably guess who that will be. Yeah, Logan Paul tweeted this with this tweet, and this tweet, there's a lot I want to say, and this is coming from someone who played competitive Pokemon for like 5 years now, even though I didn't participate in tournaments like outside tournaments. I am not too sure if my parents even let me to go all across the world to play Pokemon, but that's the point. And some of the stuff he said is very telling of what type of Pokemon fan Logan Paul is. Without further ado, let's begin. He's essential to every trainer's starting sticks, with a versatile and unpredictable moveset. If he's taking damage, Hypnosis to Dream Eater will put your opponents to sleep, suck their HP, and replenish yours. With the right trainer, he can't be killed.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Okay, there's some very telling stuff already. I don't know if it's just me, but the Hypnosis to Dream Eater combo is such a noob trap. First of all, Hypnosis is only 60% accurate, which means if you don't land your Hypnosis, now what? You can't just use Dream Eater because that only applies when the Pokemon is asleep. But then in the end, he says with the right trainer, he can't be killed. I mean, he isn't technically wrong with the right trainer. You can ask a certain someone about that. But the he can't be killed part, with Gengar's stats, doubt besides a focus sash, I guess. But even still. And even in Gen 1 standards, there's more bulkier Pokemon, there's even faster Pokemon. Like it's not like Gengar could take hits. You know what I mean? Not to mention, he's immune to normal, fighting, and ground type moves, rendering the strongest Pokemon like Machamp absolutely useless.
It's hard to fight stupid with logic after all.
Okay, there's a lot to talk about with this one. First of all, starting Gen 7, which is almost 10 years at this point, Gengar lost his ground immunity via Levitate. Now his ability is Curse Body, so he's weak to ground. Which got me to think that Logan Paul doesn't really know that much about modern Pokemon. Because sometimes when we are transitioning to another generation, some Pokemon could get either buffed, nerfed, or have their abilities either changed or added. Gallade got sharpness in Generation 9, and Zacian had 170 attack in Gen 8. Now it's 150 attack in Gen 9, and not only that, its ability also got nerfed. Now in Gen 9, it only gets a +1 attack boost for the first time it switched in. If you switch in the other times, it doesn't work. What I'm trying to say is, even though he sounds like he knows a lot about Gengar, he doesn't even know this core aspect of Gengar getting nerfed. Yeah. And then he says, rendering even the strongest Pokemon like Machamp absolutely useless. Okay, judging from the previous Pokemon related tweets from Logan Paul, jeez, that was a nightmare to say. I'm sensing that he has the energy of a genwunner. If you guys don't know what that means, a genwunner is basically an expertise of Gen 1 and only Gen 1. Logan Paul used Machamp as described as one of the strongest Pokemon. In Generation 1, despite Machamp easily being the strongest Fire-type Pokemon in that generation, Machamp was still dog shit. And it's not just a trust me bro thing, there are a couple of videos explaining why the fire type was a very shit type in Generation 1. And even Machamp at its peak, which is Generation 4, fun fact, he got banned in that generation. That's your little fun fact for the day. I still don't consider Machamp to be one of the strongest Pokemon out there. Or maybe Logan Paul actually plays Gen 4 OU and doesn't talk about it because he has to go for the Gen 1 only Pokemon type of deal. Tauros in Generation 1 was absolutely everywhere. It was absolutely powerful in that generation. These days, Tauros is pretty bad. Same with Snorlax in Generation 2. Snorlax, I think, has a 100% usage in Generation 2. And nowadays, Snorlax fell off. Well, that's power creep, but that's another video for another day. And in modern days, we got Pokemon like Landorus, Incineroar in VGC, Fluttermane, Goldango, King Gambit, Galarian Darmanitan, Dracofish, Palafan. Like Machamp couldn't have a candle compared to these Pokemon I mentioned. Like I'm seeing a lot of people saying that Logan Paul wrote this in ChatGPT, which is kind of funny because I kind of complain about how I dislike the "oh, it could have been made by AI" as an argument. But even though when they say something like that, they basically mean they didn't really like it or it's like poorly done. But for Logan Paul, this actually might apply because, dear God, he's either one of those Pokemon fans that judge Pokemon by its looks, or did ChatGPT randomize Pokemon and chose Machamp. That it's either one or two and no in between. And as for the rest of what he said, it's nothing that much to say here, other than him saying that Gengar was a trade evolution and he's somehow spinning this as a positive for Gengar. I think it's just me personally, but trade evolutions low-key kind of suck, honestly. And he's low-key spinning this as like only the mighty can only obtain a Pokemon like Gengar. If that's the case, it's Cavalier and Asargo are like the mightiest of the mighty Pokemon to obtain. Crazy thing is, there is a Gengar that's actually like has potential to be one of the most broken Pokemon out there, and that's his Mega. Because if you go to National Dex and type in Gengar, his Mega is anything goes, or AG. If you guys don't know what AG means, it's the tier above Ubers, which is like the big Pokemon, the strongest of the strongest. Gengar was banned from that. And this started when Mega Rayquaza was too powerful for Ubers. Yeah. And only a small amount of Pokemon obtained such a thing. Those Pokemon include Calyrex Shadow in Generation 9, Zacian in Generation 8, and Mawaiion in Generation 9. But I highly doubt Logan Paul knows anything about Mega Gengar, if I'm being honest. And that's all. TLDR, Logan Paul is a LARPer. What do you guys think about that? And yeah, this is Forza Player and Mario. Peace.